Welcome back, guys. Hope you're doing great. Well, this is the day 5 of our project series Fullstack Spotify Clone version 2.0 by using Next.js Typescript, Supabase, and along with the Stripe payment gateway integration. Well, so far in this project series, we have completed how to integrate the Supabase with our Next.js project and how to authenticate the user by using Supabase authentication, by using the email and password authentication along with the magic link and email confirmations and along with the GitHub authentications. And so far we successfully created our artist form data. So we successfully saved the artist informations in the database. And today in this session, we're going to see how to create a form data to store the song informations and which uploaded by which particular artist and which particular user. So we're gonna learn how to manage the song data along with the artist data by maintaining the relationship with these two different tables over here. All right. So in this sessions, we are going to design a form to upload the song details into our Supabase, and we're gonna display the song details right in the home page once the user successfully loaded. They need to see our songs, available songs. So that's what we are going to do in this session, right? So without wasting its time, let's jump into the video. And if you haven't watched any of these videos, project series video, you don't worry. So please click the link in the description below so you can find the playlist link. So please click that, and I will strongly recommend you to please go ahead and watch the all the series day by day, so you will understand what exactly we did and where we faced an issue and how we fixed that issue and all those things. And if you wish to purchase this project, you can click the link in the description and you can purchase it through Buy Me a Coffee. Using that website, you can directly download the digital source code through there. All right, so now let's jump into the session. All right, then, so far here we successfully integrated the artist model where we can upload all the artist informations along with the image as well. So now all we have to do, we have to go ahead and create ourselves our new song model. So in this case, I'm just going to close all these available. Okay, I'm going to clean it up and I'm going to minimize it. Okay, so and in the hooks, you can see we have this artist model. I'm just going to copy and paste this file one more time, and I'm going to rename this file as use song model. Okay, and we need to copy this, and over here I'm just going to change this artist into wherever the term artist it's appeared, it's need to change to song model store, use song model, and song model store, use song model. That's it, right? So now we have ourselves the state management to maintain our song model. All right, now inside the components, just like exactly the same way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file called song model.tsx. all right, so this is our song model .tsx file. So let's go ahead and start customizing the code in it. First, what we have to do, we have to make this component as a client side component. So make this as a client component. All right, and then let's create sfc, make it as sfc. That will give this a basic outline of our React functional component and bring the song model. And inside here, I'm going to bring the model, and let's import that model. Okay, and for this inside here, I'm just going to say song model, something like this. And now inside here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the title. Of course, it's going to be add a new song, then description, create your own song, and then is open. Of course, by default I'm going to keep it as open, and on change I'm going to use this callback, empty callback function, which is going to do nothing. So save as changes. Now I need to bring this, so let me open our model provider. So let me go to the providers folder and bring the model provider. Then I need to bring our model over here. So song model, so that is coming from at component song model, and make sure that it's being imported successfully. And now we should get the song model. Here we go. So it's taking some time to compile the file, and now we can see our song model over here, right? So basically the song model, it's loaded successfully, but we don't have any actions for opening and closing it. So don't worry, we'll do that later. First, let's go ahead and fix this forms and save the song details and everything. Or let's go by step by step. First, what we do, we'll fix this opening and closing issue, then we can go for that. All right. So let's go by step itself. So I'm going to bring our use song model hook. So const song model is equals to use song model, which is coming from hook use song model. All right, so let's bring the component to the top of it. All right, so here I'm going to make this as a function, save these changes and enter. All right, so here then what I need to do, I need to bring the user information. So we need to fetch the user information along with the Supabase client, and we need the router information and everything. So I'm just going to say const Supabase client is equals to use Supabase client. Make sure that is coming from your auth helpers React, and that should be on the top of the import statement, right? And then over here, now what we have to do, we have to bring the router. So const router equals to use router navigation, next navigation. Okay, so make sure that you have imported that from the next navigation. Okay, that should be installed from the next navigation. And then over here, next what we need to do, use router. So after here, I need to get the user information. So const is equals to use user at hooks from our custom hook. I'm going to get the user information. These are all the information, and I'm going to get one more thing. So use state, make sure that is loading, and by default it's going to be false, and make sure that is imported properly, and this is should come from the top of here, just like the same way use router also, right? So align all the import statement properly. So keep your default the package imports from the top components, then your custom hooks and everything at the bottom, right? So it's not necessary, but I love to keep it everything organized. That's the reason. All right. So then now what we have to do is we have to open and close this, right? So I need to write a function. So const on change. So I'm going to say on change is equals to, and this function is going to take a parameter which is going to be the type of boolean, and inside here if not open, then I'm just going to say song model dot on close. All right, that's the function I'm going to call it. So now if I click this, okay, so nothing is happening. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So here I need to bring that song model dot is open state. So basically its open state is based on our song model state, and then on change should be this on change event. All right, now you can't see that song model because the reason is because initially the is open object in our state inside the use song model hook, our state is false. So that's the reason we can't see that song model. So in order to get that, what I have to do, I have to go to our main container, and just like exactly the same way over here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say const song model is equals to use song model, and all the way to the bottom of the list, somewhere over here, this is the one for artist. I'm just going to say on click, I'm going to call this song model dot on open. Pass the function as the reference, don't call it, just pass it as a reference. And now if I click this, you should get that song model. If I click this, it will be gone, right? So now we successfully integrated our song model. Now all we have to do is to get back over there, and we have to bring our custom form to upload the song details over here, and that's what we are going to do next. All right then, so now what we have to do is we have to go ahead and design this song model form. So just exactly the same way like what we did inside the artist model over here, right? So just exactly the same way we have to design the use form, and we have to design our own submit handler, and we have to design our forms, and we have to handle the errors as well. So let's go ahead and start do that one after another. So let me get back to the song model. All right, so first what we have to do inside the song model, right? So we need to create the form fields. So let's get back to our songs over here. So what are the fields that we need to have for the songs? So for the song, we need to have the timestamp, don't worry about it, ID and timestamp, it's auto generated, title, song URL, image URL, user ID, artist ID, right? These are the things that we need to create for the songs. So user ID we can get from the user object, artist ID, so we need to bring the artist information. So just like the same way, where it is. Okay, so I think I closed it unfortunately. So let me bring one more tab and I keep this over here. So let me bring Spotify Clone. And if I log in myself with my GitHub account, because that's my admin account, so let me open it. And I can get the new song information. Okay, you can see here we are displaying the artist informations over here, right? So what are the things we need to do? We need to get the song, name, image file, audio file, and along with that we need to get the artist. So I can choose which artist I'm going to select it, and you can see the differentiation. If I click this, it's selected. If I click this one is selected, right? Just like the same way we are going to do that. So let's get back to our design. Okay, so first what we have to do, we have to design the form. So here, so const equals to use form from where? React hook form. Let me bring it to the top. Okay, for this I'm going to supply the field values as the type, which is going to come exactly from the same package React hook form. And I'm going to open the object, and inside here I'm going to fix the default values for our field values, form field values. And those form field values, which is going to be title, 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 of course it's going to be empty, and song underscore URI, which is going to be null, and of course image underscore URI, which is going to be null. So please make sure that everything is matching over here, image underscore URI and song underscore URI, right? Then I need to get the user underscore ID, which is going to be a string, empty string, and artist, artist underscore ID, that is also going to be the string. All right, fine. So this is the form which we have to of the field values. Now over here we need to fetch some other information, which is going to be the register, to register each field, and handle the submit to finalize the entire submit event. And for reset, so we're going to have this reset, and along with this I'm going to get the form state, and inside this we're going to have this error object. So we are going to get all these necessary fields, right? So now what I need to do is I need to create a custom on submit event to handle our submitted event, right? So to handle our form submit event. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say const on submit s should be capital, so equals to, it's a callback function, open it, and I'm going to get the parameter as values inside, and that is going to be an asynchronous function for the later purpose. And I'm just going to say console.log which is going to be the values, right? Now I'm going to map this with the submit handler, which is provided by your React hook form, submit handler, and this submit handler should carry on the types of field values, right? That's the type of that field values. All right, so now inside here, now what I need to do is I need to create a form. So that form which is going to have that handler event, so form and actions, we are going to keep the actions completely empty, and on submit, so this is the event of that specific form, and we are going to call this handle submit, which we imported from the use form hook. and I'm going to supply our custom submit function, which we created over here. Okay, this is how you need to pass the function for React hook form. So if you need to learn much more about this, so search for React hook form and you can go through the official documentations. So I strongly recommend you to watch either this demo or please go ahead and click get started, and you can learn about how they are getting the forms and error values and how they are handling the errors values and how they are handling the on submit events and everything. So you can learn it from here, right? So now a form has been successfully created, and let's add some styles for this, because everything inside it should be flex and flex column direction, and for each and every object we should have 16 pixels as a gap. Okay, so let me enable the word wrap so I can see it much clearer over here and enter. So first, what is the field that we need? We need to bring the artist, we need to bring the title, so song name. So let's go ahead. So we already designed our custom input reusable component in the previous session. Okay, so if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch that. Okay, please click the link in the description below. You can learn about this input in the day 4 of the series. Okay, and over here I'm going to bring this input, self-closing that, and this input is coming from /input. So enter, right? And I'm going to supply the ID to make it unique. So title, and of course it's going to be disabled. So disable, it's going to be the is loading state which we created. And I'm going to spread out the register props register, which is coming from use React hook form hook, and I'm going to supply the field name, which is going to be the title. Please make sure this title and this title, it's exactly the same. Then of course this field is going to be the required field. So required, so you should need to fill this field name and then placeholder. So I'm going to say song name. So now you should see the song name over here. So I'm just going to make sure whether it is working fine or not. So after that, I'm going to bring a button, and then I'm just going to say create, and this should be imported from .button, and this should be disabled if it is loading, and the type of that button, it's going to be the submit. Save the changes and access the input statement. This is a component, should come from there. Here, save the changes, and let me inspect the elements. And if I click console, all right. So now if I, without typing anything, if I'm clicking something over here, nothing is going to happen. You can see nothing is going to happen. But if I type something and if I click it, now you can see I can get the title name, and the rest of the fields are completely empty. So don't worry about that. We can fix that later. All right, now we have to make sure this is working fine. Then what I need to do, I need to bring the errors. So just like the same way how we handle the errors over here. So in the artist model, so I'm just going to copy this errors and I'm going to bring it over here. Okay, so errors question mark dot title, that's the field name which we are. If the title field is missing, then what I need to do, song name is required. I just need to say song name is required. So only if the error is there, then it will be displayed. So save this changes. So now you can see song name is required. If I close this and if I'm opening it for the first time, you can see because the input field is being focused. If I refresh this and still it's loading. Okay, so now if I click here, and now you can see it's not showing that error initially because that field is not focused and none of the field it's been submitted. So if I click this, you can see now it's throwing that error. And if I give some name sample or something, that error will be gone because that error will be handled defaultly by your React web hook use form. This one, by using this, where is it? This one, this hook will handle that errors and everything. Okay, if I delete this, if the field is empty, the error is going to be popped up. All right, so just like the same way, now what I have to do is we have to bring the image file and the audio file. So let's go ahead and let me bring this error one more time and let me paste it. This time this is going to be song URI or image URI. Image is required, right? And right after here, then what I have to do, I have to bring a division, and inside this division I'm gonna say div select an image file, something like this, and this should have the class name as padding bottom 1 pb1. And right after here I'm gonna bring the input self-closing tag and then enter, and here id it's going to be the image URI. All right, and the type of this input is going to be the file, and disabled, of course it's going to be disabled by the time when it's loading, and it should accept image image slash star any kind of files, and we should register this in our form field with the field name called image underscore URI. That's the thing, image underscore URI. And right after here we need to make this field as a required field, because without song image we should not allow the user to upload it. And placeholder, I'm just going to say song cover image. Save these changes. Now you should able to see the song image, and now if I click this, you can see song name is required, song image is required, so we are getting that warning messages over there. So just like the same way, I'm going to copy this entire stuff along with the errors, and I'm going to place it over here. And this time instead of song URI, I'm just going, so image URI, I'm going to keep this as a song URI. Wherever the term we use the image URI, we have to change this to song URI, and the song audio is required. Song audio file is required. Select an audio file, and this should accept audio slash star song URI file, song URI, song cover, not cover image, song audio file. Save these changes. All right, now we can see we can able to select the audio file. If I click this, come on, yeah, here we go, so that I can get this from here. Audios and everything is attached over here, so you can get all these audios and audio files and everything in the link. So click the drive link in the description and you can download it from there. And anyways, these songs are downloaded from the YouTube audio library only. You can download it from there also, right? So now let's go ahead and please check it out, your error is working or not. Let's me check over here sample, and I'm going to choose an image, office file, Spotify. Let me choose any song image, something like this, and I'm going to choose a song. Okay, any song. All right, so in this case, if I just click create, and you should be able to see we have artist ID and user ID. Of course it's still empty because we need to artist ID, we haven't created the field. Just like over here, we have to create that field. And for the song user ID, you can get that from the authenticated user ID. And the image URI, you can see the file is there, and for song URI, you can see we have the file there, right? So now, which means the form, everything is working fine. And now all we have to do is to go ahead and start designing this exactly the same thing, like choose an artist. So that's what we are going to do next. All right then, so now what we have to do is we have to display this artist data inside our song model, but there is a problem. So we are fetching the artist data from where? We are fetching the artist data from the server side component, right? So from the server side component, we are fetching the artist data, but there is a problem. The problem is if you are trying to use this, where it is in the actions, if you're trying to use this get artist, if you're trying to use it inside the client component, we will run into an hydration error. We will definitely run into an error. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So const artist equals to get artist, And of course, should be an asynchronous function. Let's make this await get artist. If I save this, you can see we are getting an error, right? So this only works in a server component, which is not supported in the pages slash directory, right? Inside the server component only we can able to fetch this. So if I can't fetch, or if I can't use that the artist data in the server component inside the client component, then what I need to do, I need to fetch it in the server component, then I need to pass it to all the child node to access it inside. So to avoid that, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch the artist data through the client side, but not directly by using the use effect hook inside this component itself. I'm going to create a separate hook to load that data for us, right? So let's go ahead and create a custom hook to fetch this detail for us. So open up and get into the hooks folder where it is here. I'm going to create a new hook called use get artist on client side, something like this, TS, right? So, oops. All right. So here, now what I need to do is, so I'm just going to create a function const use get artist on client side. So make sure this name, keep your file name also exactly the same, so to avoid any conflict. So I'm going to keep it just like that, and equals to an arrow function. Open it. Now here I need the states. Use state is loading, it's going to be false, and of course we need to store the artist information. So use state, which is going to be artist as a local array, set artist, and this is going to be an array, and this should be the type of the artist type, which is coming from our custom artist types. Okay, and this should be array of artists, right? Something like this. Then we need to get the Supabase client, so I'm going to get that from the use session context. So const Supabase client, which we are going to get that from the use session context, which is quite same. You can use Supabase client or use session context. So because artist needs to be loaded only if the user is authenticated, and the authenticated user should be admin, right? So in that case, I need to get the authenticated user information. So I'm using the use session context to get the Supabase client. Both of them are same. If you can use client context, you can use Supabase client, or you can use session context. Both are same. Both is going to return your Supabase client instance. Now inside here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a use effect hook. Going to create a use effect hook, and I'm going to change use the array of dependency, so make it as an empty, and inside this array of dependency I'm going to pass the Supabase client. Okay, whenever the Supabase client object changes, I need to re-render it. So here I'm just going to say set is loading as true. Okay, then I'm going to fetch, so const fetch artists equals to asynchronous function, open it, and const data comma error equals to await Supabase client dot from which table, artists table. I'm going to select every single record, right? So start, save these changes. And now if there is an error, what we have to do, if there is an error, then I need to say set is loading as false. Then I need to return toast, which is coming from React hot toast. I'm going to return that error as the error dot message. Whatever the error is, I'm going to return that error to the client. Then if not, I'm just going to say set artists, and I'm going to set the data, right? So basically here how you need to set, if you can simply pass this as a data, right? And you can make sure and you can return it as an empty array. right? But at some point I'm getting an error when once I deployed it. It's working perfectly on the local, but when I try to deploy it, I'm getting an error, right? That's I'm getting an error over here in this data object. So in order to avoid that, what I can do is I can open one more value bracket over here, data, and I'm going to return it as an artist, as an array, artist array. If not, I'm going to return an empty array, something like this. So set is loading. After that, it should be false, right? So right after here, I need to call this function. So fetch the artist, okay? And then at last, what I need to do right after here, for this function, I need to return. So I need to memorize this. So I don't want to every single time to fetch and repeat the same stuff. I need to memorize it once I fetched it. So using the use memo hook, I'm going to get the value, open the bracket. Okay. And inside here, I'm going to send the objects. And right after here, I'm going to bring the array of brackets. So inside here, I'm going to send that is loading and the artist details. And here is loading and the artist details, right? So this is the object and this is the array that we are trying to memorize inside using this use memo. And at the end, what we have to do, we have to export the default value. Export default this use get client on artist on the client side. Save this changes. All right, fine. Now we have to test this function whether it is working fine or not. So we need to take this for a run. So let's go to our song model. And what I need to do, I need to bring that artist informations, and we need to fetch that artist informations, right? So so right after here, let's keep it over here. I'm just going to say const, and I need the objects from the use get artist on client side, open it. That's a function, and it's going to return the artist. Oops, first I need to import it. So that's why I'm wondering. I imported it, but I'm getting artists, comma, is loading, and which is going to be artist loading. And we are getting an error over here. The expression is not callable. I think I made a mistake in the return use memo. So open the use memo. What mistake that we made? Not sure. This is the line. Oops, I'm sorry. Still we are getting an error over here. So this is the one that we exported, right? Yes, that's the one, and we are getting an internal server error on fetching the artist. We are invalid hook call. Where? It's loading, set is loading, use state. Is there any mistakes we made? I'm not sure why this error is happening. I think this is quite weird, maybe because this hook name and this file name both are same. That doesn't make any sense, like over here. right? So what I'm going to do is, so I'm just going to customize this name to avoid the mistakes, and let me keep this on use get artist client side, change the hook, and of course I'm going to change it over here too. Let me fetch it. Let me bring this. Copy and paste this over here. Okay, so still it's not working. So I think we made a mistake in our client side. Come on, what is the issue? It's a callback function only. Why we are getting this error? But if I am, what is the mistake that we made over here? This is the code which I copied from my previous work, which means from the practice file. All right, so what we can do is, let's delete this one. I'm not sure where the mistake is coming from, so it's better to delete it and rewrite it completely. So const use get artist client side or something, client side is equals to open the callback function and paste it. And of course we need these three values. Let me bring back those three states over here. Let's import these things. Import use state and import this artist, use this session context. Let's import all those necessary things. Then of course we need the use effect hook, right? So let's bring that use effect hook, copy and paste this use effect hook, make sure this also imported. This is also imported, and finally I'm going to return this data right after here. Return use memo, return it, and export this default function, export default that use get artist client side. Save these changes. Now that issue is gone. That's why I'm quite wondering. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to use this over here, get artist, and you can see that issue is being resolved. I think previously I made a mistake when I am creating a function or anything. I don't know why it's happening. I just recreated it and it's working fine. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, now it doesn't shows any error over here, so it's working fine now. And then sorry, let's make it clear. So I'm going to create this one more div, select, choose an artist, instead of this input I'm going to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this I'm going to get that information from the artist and I'm going to display it over here. So all I have to do is to create a div, and I'm going to make this as a class name, class, and I'm going to keep it as a grid, and the grid column it's going to be of course 3 columns. So in gap it's going to be 2, and padding it's going to be 4, and cursor of course it's going to be pointer. And inside here I'm just going to say if I do have this artist and dot map function, and I'm going to get the item one after another, and I'm going to display this paragraph tag, and I'm going to display the artist name over here, item dot author, and I'm going to supply the key as item dot id over here. Save this changes, and now if I click this song, and I'm getting that name over here, look at that. So which means it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be, right? So it's working perfectly fine. Now it will take some time to fetch this artist informations, right? At that meantime it should return the loading animation stuff. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say if the artist is loading, if it is true, I need to bring a react fragment over here, react.fragment. If not, what I need to do, I need to bring the react.fragment over here. And the react is showing issue, it's because it's not imported. Make sure that is imported. So save this changes. Now it's not showing up over here. If the artist is loading, I need to bring the loading animation. So I'm just going to say react spinners. So this is the package I'm going to use, react spinners, and you can see different spinners in the demo page over here. See, different spinners available are over here. This is the package we are going to use. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to say shut it down, our application. So npm install react spinners, so that will start downloading the react spinners. And then let's say npm run dev, and it's started up, and let's refresh our application. Fine. So over here now what I need to do is, if it is loading, so of course I'm just going to say class name class name it's going to width, of course it's going to be full, and flex, okay, item center, justify center, and it should occupy the complete column spans of 3, because the parent division is the grid. So I need to make sure it's occupying all the 3 columns. So then inside here I'm going to bring the puff loader, which is coming from react spinner, and I'm going to pass the size as 35. The loader animation, it's going to be 35, and the color of the loader animation, it's going to be hash 10 b9 b981. Save this changes, and if I click this, you can't see anything because the artist, it's not loading right now. So I'm just going to say if not artist loading. Now you can see we have this puff loading animation, right? So by the time when you're fetching the data, still fetching the data from the server, so it should wait and it should show that loading animations over here. If not over here, what I need to do, I need to render that artist informations and everything. So let me put this on the top of over here, and I don't need this get artist, right? So let me delete all the unusable import statements and everything. And inside this react fragments, now what I need to do, I need to bring the artist. If the artist.map, open it, and I'm going to get the item, and I'm going to render it over here. So for this I need to get that model artist item. All right. So currently we're going to get an issue over here. So what we need to do is we need to create a new function, new component for this. So let's go here and let's create a new component called artist model item.tsx. And over here now interface artist model item props, open it, and of course it's going to return a data, and it's going to be the type of this artist. Then it's going to have an on click function, and that function is going to take the id as the type of the string, and it's going to return the void. Okay, then of course I'm going to get the selected, which means which artist is selected. So and that is going to be the type of the boolean, right? Say the changes, and then say sfc, and which is going to be the model artist item. And here I'm just going to say model artist item, and of course this is going to take this react dot fc, and the props is going to be the model artist item props, and let's spread it out all the props over here, which is going to be the data prop and on click prop, and of course it's going to be the selected prop. So save these changes, let's get back over here and let's import it over here, which is going to be the model item, and this should take the necessary parameters, sorry, the properties. And what are the properties? It's going to be here key, it's going to be item.id, so we can maintain all the informations uniquely, and data, it's going to be our entire item, and on click, which is going to be an empty callback for the time being right now. Then we need to set selected object, so save these changes. Okay, now you can see we are getting the two artist names over there, model artist item, model artist items over there, right? So for to store the selected information, so what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to create a function and I'm going to create a state to get that selected artist. So what I'm going to do is, so right after here, I'm going to create one more state. So use state, which is going to be selected artist ID, that's the selected artist ID, and which is going to be initially null, and this should take the type of string or null, right? So that's the thing. And right after this on submit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a one more function. So const handle selected artist, that's a function, and which is going to take the ID. So I'm just going to say artist ID colon as a string, and it's going to be a callback function. So here I'm just going to say set selected artist, open it. So I'm going to get the previous ID. Okay, so I need to make sure if the previous ID is equals to the current image ID, then let's make it null, because if the user it's selected the artist, and if I don't want to select it again, I can click again. See, now it's selected. If I don't want to select it, if I click it again, it will be deselected. So to do that, I'm going to get the previous ID. If it is equals to the artist ID, sorry, let's open the value. If the previous ID it's equals to artist ID, is that a case, then what I need to do, I need to make it as a null. Otherwise, I need to set the artist ID. Okay, this is the thing that we are trying to do. So I need to call that function where I need to send that function over here. So by the time when you're calling that function, what I need to send the ID of the artist. So here handle selected artist and item.id, and selected is equals to selected artist ID equals to item.id. So if the selected artist ID is equals to item.id, then what it in the case, it should be true. If not, it will be false. So selected will be either true or false. So save these changes. Now there is no type error or anything. So let's get back over here and let's start designing our model artist item over there, right? So of course I need to get the artist image. So just like the same way where we display the artist. So where we display the artist, I think we displayed the artist in the artist page, right? So app artist page content over here, or not here, artist item. You can see we are getting the use load artist image over here. By using this hook, we are loading the image of that artist. So just like the same way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that using that hook. I'm going to get that information. So const image path is equals to use load artist image, and I'm going to supply the data into it. So now I have that specific artist image in our image path, right? So let me make it a word wrap. So for this division, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say class name. Okay, so class name, and I'm going to use the dynamic strings. So let's make it like a dynamic string literal. So flex item center, and let's make it justify center, and placeholder, it's placeholder color, it's going to be the gray. I think the placeholder is not necessary because that is not going to be any text field or anything else. So border, of course, it's going to be 2, px it's going to be 2, and py it's going to be 1, and rounded it's going to be medium, and gap between each element should be 8 pixels. And then I'm just going to use this if that selected is true, which means if selected, then I need to render the border, it's going to be emerald 400. If not, what I need to do, I need to render the border, it's going to be neutral 400. All right, so save this changes. Okay, fine. Now inside this, I'm going to call one more division, and I'm going to say class name, and which is going to be width, of course it's going to be 6, height, of course it's going to be 6, flex, item center, justify center, and bg it's neutral 400, and rounded, of course it's going to be medium, and the relative position and overflow it's going to be the hidden. And inside here I'm going to bring that image, which is going to be load from next image, and alternative is going to be the data.author, and the source, of course it's going to be the artist image, image path. If not, I'm going to load this image from /img avatar.jpg. if the image is not there, then it should fill the entire, and the class name, of course it's going to be object cover, right? So now you should see the image over here. Look at that, something like that. Then what I need to do inside this, right after this division, I'm going to get the paragraph, and I'm going to display the data.author name, and this paragraph tag should have the class name as text sm and text neutral 400, and width, of course it's going to be full, and it should truncate the unwanted spaces. Look at that, that's how it looks. But now there is an issue, we haven't used the on-click event, which this event, this property. So for this, I'm just going to call the on-click event. If it is clicking, I'm going to call back this function, and I'm going to use that same on-click prop, and I'm going to send that data id, data.id. Save these changes. Now if I click this, you can see it is highlighted. If I click this, it will be null. Just the same thing for over here. So let's go ahead and try to add one more artist, and let's use this artist, and let's choose the one more artist over here, Gustav. Save it, use the same fields, and now if I hit the create options, it is creating. Okay, it's showing artist created. Okay, image is not loading. Why? Okay, it's taking some time. Let me refresh and let's see. For the initial boot up it's taking some time, but fine, it's loading it, it's faster. And if I go and click this song, now you can see we have that one more artist, it's fetched properly over here, right? So now we successfully bring all the artists and everything. So next what we have to do, we have to go ahead and save the song details, and that's what we are going to do next. All right then, so since we successfully displayed the artist informations into the model, so now all we have to do is to go ahead and save the song model informations inside this on submit event. So let me delete this console.log, and inside that I'm going to open the try and catch and catch. If there is an error, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to display that the error message over there. All right, so here if there is an error, so what I'm trying to do over here is, if there is an error, I need to catch that error, then I just need to display it in the React hot toast. So I'm going to get that toast error message, and I'm going to say something went wrong. Along with this, I'm going to display that error message. So error dot message. I'm not getting an error. Okay, let's display that error. What's wrong? of type unknown as any. So display the error message as any. So this is just a type error, so don't worry because it's showing that what kind of error will come. So we just load that as an error as any data type, or we can simply ignore this, okay, if you don't want to make any unwanted issues or anything. Then I'm going to call this finally, and if there is any error, so I'm just going to say inside the finally, I'm just going to say set is loading as a false, because finally will be executed even if the try block is executed, or even if there is an error and the catch block is executed, finally will always be executed at every single time. So I'm going to stop loading it. So inside the try, of course, we need to first trigger the loading as true. We should make that set is loading as true. Then I need to fetch the picture, and we need to fetch the song file first. So const picture file equals to, from where, from the values dot image underscore URI dot 0th index, because that's an array. From the 0th index we can get that file, and const song underscore file song file is equals to values question mark dot song underscore URI question mark dot 0th index, right? So if not picture file, come on, oops, spelling mistake. If not picture file, or if not song file, or if not user, or if not selected artist ID, is that the case, then we need to raise an error. If is that missing, then what we have to do is we just need to raise the error message as toast dot error required field is missing. Required fields are missing. Then I just need to return the function. That's it. I just don't want to do anything else, and then I just need to return. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to from the unique ID, so I'm going to import the unique ID where it is. Import React Hot Toast. This should be on the top over here, and right after here import unique ID from where, unique ID. All right, so let's scroll the down over here. Right after here I need to get that unique ID, so const unique ID equals to unique ID. All right, so now first what I need to do, upload the image to the storage. That's what we need to do. So I'm just going to say const data, and I'm just going to keep this as the image data as an alias name. Then error, if there is an error on image error, I'm just going to say await Supabase client dot storage dot from, open it, and which is going to be the images bucket. That's the bucket which we are using in the storage, and I'm going to upload the image, right? I'm just going to say this as song underscore cover underscore image, sorry, hyphen, and right after here I need to append the unique ID, which is we generated the unique ID. Make sure this is the field, not the package name, this one, unique ID. Then I need to supply the file which I need to upload, picture file, and right after here along with that I'm going to upload some options. So catch control, which is going to be, that's the maximum file size, and that is supposed to be a string. And right after here I'm just going to make sure the upsert as a false. This is how it looks, and this should be data, not capital letter. It should be data. Say the changes, right? So this is the place where we are uploading it. And if there is an image error, so what I'm going to do, if there is an image error, then I'm going to say console.log image error, and I'm just going to say set is loading as false, and I'm just going to return toast dot error, failed to upload. Come on, upload the image. Save these changes. Right now we uploaded the image. Now all we have to do is to upload the song. So just exactly the same way, I'm gonna copy this and I'm going to paste it one more time. This time this is going to be song data, and this is going to be song error. Okay, and Supabase storage, and this is going to be the songs storage. Okay, which is going to be the songs storage, and this is going to be song audio file with that unique ID, and here I'm just going to send the song file. So please make sure that whatever the thing I'm changing over here, make sure that everything perfectly. Okay, song data, song error, Supabase client.songs, make sure that's the songs, because if you go here and if you search inside the storage options and you have the two different buckets over here, songs and images. So now we are uploading into the songs bucket. So song audio file with the unique ID which we generated at the time being, and song file, and cache control is going to be the same, upsert is going to be the same. And if there is a song error, print the song error, set loading is found, fail to upload the audio file. All right, so if there is no errors until this, if there is no error after here, now what I need to do, save the song to the database. Song data, we need to save the song data into the database. That's what we are going to do now. So const error, this is going to be the Supabase error, which we are trying to save the details into the Supabase. So I'm going to say await Supabase client. So I'm going to say client dot enter from, enter from. Let me break the line. So I'm just going to say from dot from. I'm just going to give the table name, that's the song's name, that's a table name, dot insert. So that open it, I'm going to create an object in it, and I'm going to send the title, title title, that's the title. It's better to copy it from here and use it over here. So title, of course, what we are going to say, that's the field name, title. Something imported unwantedly. Title from where? From the values dot title. From the values dot title. Then for the song URI, what you need to do, from the song data, I'm gonna get that path object. And for image URI, from the image data, I'm gonna get that path object. User ID, we have the user object, and I'm going to use that ID. And artist ID, of course, we have the selected artist ID, right? That's the data that we are trying to insert. So I'm going to copy this one more time, and I'm going to paste it. If the Supabase error, I'm going to print the Supabase error, and I'm just going to say fail to upload the song data, like this, right? So if not, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say using the right router object, I'm just going to refresh the entire route. Then I'm just going to say set is loading as false. This should happen before refreshing. And I'm just going to raise an toast.success message as new song added, right? And once everything is successfully done, I'm just going to reset the form, and I'm going to close that song model. So song model dot on close, and just like the same way, this inside this on change, every time whenever we are closing and opening the model, the form needs to be resetted. So I save these changes. Now there is no issues, I think so. Yeah, let me try refreshing it. I think so, there is no issues at all. Now if I click this song, So what is the song that we can add? So let me bring my new Finder window inside this over here, and let me get back to my location, office work, core office files, Spotify. So let's try to add this LB lights or something. Okay, so song name, what is the song name? Copy and paste it over here. And song is the image file, or it's an image file. So ELL, okay, so here it is. I think this is the song cover image, and let's choose this song file, which is going to be this song, and click open, and I'm going to choose this Gustav as the selected image ID. And if I click create, and look at that, now it is been loading, so everything is been blocked and it's taking, yep, now we can see new songs added. So which means our song is added to our songs. If I go here, you can see the song file is added over here, the audio file, which is added over here. And if you go and check your image, if you check here, it's still loading. Yeah, now you can see 2 minutes 53 seconds. And if you go to your images, and now you should get the song cover image, so it is added successfully. And if I go to the table editor, and if I go to these songs, I should be able to see the data. Yep, so created at song name, which is added, and song URI, image URI, and the user ID and the artist ID. That looks awesome. So we successfully saved our song data information into our database, right? So take some of your time and download this audio files, download all these files from the drive link which I given below, or you feel free use your own songs and everything. So you can add some sample songs details into your database. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to add some song details, and I'm going to get back to you. So after that, we're going to list out all the songs in that respective places. All right then. So over here, I successfully added few songs and their images and the audio files and everything. So now let's go ahead and start list out all these songs and display it in our client view in our home page over here. All right. So I'm going to close all of this, close all. So let's get back into the actions folder, and I'm going to copy and duplicate this get artist, and I'm going to rename this file as get songs. All right. Okay. I'm gonna rename this get artist into get songs, and instead of this artist, I'm gonna change this to song type, which we having in our types, custom types which we created. And instead of artist, I'm gonna change this to songs. Okay, so that's the thing, and it's going to be exactly the same as everything, just no changes at all. So save this changes over here. Okay, so now let's open up our site page.tsx. Let's go here and go to inside the site and go inside the page.tsx. This is the place which is going to display the Spotify homepage. Currently it's displaying it, and I'm going to customize it everything over here. So I'm just going to delete this stuff, delete it, and make it word wrap. So here I'm going to create a div, enter. So for this, what I'm going to say, class name, it's going to be rounded LG, and height, of course, it's going to be full. Width, of course, it's going to be full. Overflow, it's going to be hidden, and overflow Y, it's going to be auto. And inside here, I'm going to bring the header first. If you have a look at here, and if I click the home, you can see we're having this button, we're having this welcome back, and we're having this like songs, which if I click this, it will take me to the favorites section, and we are displaying the list of songs over here. So that's what we are about to do here. So I'm going to bring the header component, which is coming from header, right? Okay. So we don't want to cache this page, right? So in order to do that, I'm just going to say export const revalidate. Okay, revalidate is equals to 0, right? So this header component is expecting now a child component. I'm just going to say h2, and I'm going to say welcome back. And here, okay, here, which I'm going to display class name and my for like margin top and bottom 4, and text is going to be Excel, and font of course it's going to be bold, and the text color it's going to be neutral 400. So this text needs to be displayed only if I have this user object. If there is no user object, then I need to display something else. From where use user at hook use user, then I'm going to get the user instance from here user. So this need to be displayed. If I have the user object, in that case, then I need to display this paragraph, this text, or else I need to display this welcome back, or else I need to display authenticate to listen ad-free musics. Save the changes. And if I say so, I'm getting an error message. What is that? But none of its parents are not. Okay. So if I change this to use client, it is going to throw an error. Yep. Now it's saying, yep, now you can see it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be, right? So otherwise, if you're changing this into use client, you can't get the songs information. So it's better to, what we can do is let's leave this as a server-side component itself. I'm just going to keep this for the time being. Welcome back. Later we'll figure it out. Let's do something for this issue. Okay. Because we need to keep this as a server-side component. Reason is because we need to fetch the songs details from the get songs over here, right? Okay, so and right after this h2 tag, right after here, I'm gonna bring a link tag, link, which is coming from next link, enter, and inside here it's need href, and of course I'm going to navigate the user to favorites. So far we don't have that route, so don't worry about it. And inside here I'm going to create a div and class name. Of course it's going to be a class name, and it's going to be rounded medium, and bg neutral 400 slash 20, and padding right, of course it's going to be 12, and flex item center, justify center, overflow hidden, and gap between it's going to be 2, and cursor, of course it's going to be the pointer. Okay, and now inside here I'm going to create one more division. For that I'm going to have a class name. It's going to be aspect square, like 1:1 ratio, and width 12 and height 12, and flex item center and justify center, bg gradient to bottom right. Okay, from blue 700 via blue 400 to blue 400/45. Save this change. So if you save it, that's how it should look. So for this link tag, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say class name, width, of course it's going to be 4, flex item center, and justify everything in the start. It's just like this. Let's look at that. Okay, now inside here, now what I need to do inside this division, I'm going to bring a heart, for heart. Okay, so for 6, make this as a for 6. version. Save the changes. Now you should get that heart over there. Cool, that's looking cool. And right after here, I'm gonna bring a paragraph tag and I'm going to say this liked songs. Save the changes. Something like that. How cool is that? Right? That's looking awesome. Then after that, next what I need to do after this header, I'm gonna bring the content. So div, which is going to be the class name and which is going to be the width full, and flex is going to be 1. And inside here, I'm gonna bring the page content. Of course, we don't have the page content. So what I need to do, I'm going to create a new page content and I'm going to send these songs inside. Oops. Songs inside the songs, because so far we don't have the songs also. And along with the, I'm going to get the artist information, then I'm going to display the artist informations over there, artists. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to fetch the songs and artist as well. So const songs equals to get songs, and we need to make sure this is going to be an asynchronous function. And let's use the await keyword over here, copy and paste it, and let's change this to artist, and I'm going to get that from the artist. Okay, and we don't have this page content so far. Inside the site, I'm going to create a components folder and I'm going to copy this page content and I'm going to create a new component inside this as a tsx. Okay, so now inside this page component, we have to make sure this as a client side component, use client, and sfc, I'm going to say page content, and inside this currently I'm going to create a div and I'm going to make this as a page content, and I'm going to create an interface over here as the page content props, open it, and it's going to listen to this. It's going to have a prop called songs, which is going to be the song type of array. Then I'm going to get the artist, which is going to be the artist type of array, and let's add it over here. So react.fc functional component, and let's use this page content props and let's get those props over here, songs and artists. Right, save these changes and let's get back over here. Let's import it from where /page content. Okay, and let's separate these things. Let's bring this to the all the way to bottom. Like this. Okay, so now we can see we are getting the page content over here. So let's get back to the page content, and now what I have to do is I'm going to create a division. For this division, I'm going to say it's going to be a grid. Okay, and grid, it's going to be column 2 for the mobile devices, and from the medium devices onwards, okay, grid column, it's going to be 3, and from the large devices onwards, grid column, it's going to be 4, and XL devices onwards, grid column, it's going to be 5, and 2XL devices onwards, grid column, it's going to be 8. Okay, and margin top, it's going to be 4, and PX, it's going to be 4, gap, it's going to be 4, something like that. Let me enable the word wrap so we can see it clearly. Save these changes. Cool. Now inside here, I'm going to bring that songs, and before that, what I'm going to do is, let me go to this page content of artist, and just exactly the same way I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to check the songs. Now if the songs dot length is then no songs data available. If not, we are going to display that songs dot map, and I'm going to get the every single item one after another. Then I'm going to render this, and for the time being, I'm going to bring the paragraph tag. Then I'm going to say keep this as item dot key is equals to item dot id, and here I'm just going to bring the item dot title. So item dot title. Save these changes, and now you should see all those titles. Okay, so one after another. Now you can see we're having 5 different columns, and you can see 5 different titles over there, which means the song data is fetched successfully and it's displaying over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new component called song item. So let me create a new component over here, song item dot tsx. Okay, so now inside this song item, of course, this is going to be use client. Let's make this an interface as song item props, which is going to be, it's going to receive the data in the form as song type, then and it's going to receive the artist data in the type as artist type. Then on click, of course, we are going to get the id as a string type, and we are going to call up or return a void data in this function, right? This is the prop and sfc, and I'm going to get this song item, and I'm going to, for the time being, I'm going to create a div with the name as song item, and I'm going to extend this react.fc. I'm going to bring this item props over here and expand this data, artist, and on click. Save these changes. Let's get back over here. Instead of this paragraph tag, I'm going to bring that song item, and I'm going to supply the key as item.id to avoid the issue. Then I'm going to supply the data, which is going to be the item. Then I'm going to supply the artist, which is going to be so this is the place it gets trickier, because we need to send the artist, which matches the artist ID, who's equals to this particular artist ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this artist dot filter function, filter. Okay, then I need the data. What if I need the index number? I can use find index or find method, right? So what we can do is, let's search for JS find method. If instead of using I think the find method is going to return that specific object. I think so. Find method returns the value of the first element that passes this test. Yes, it's returning the value. So instead of filter method, what we can do is we can use this find method. So I'm gonna get that artist, single artist, and that particular artist dot id should be equals to the item dot artist id. If it is say so, then what we need to do, we need to return the artist. So song item, which is going to be the artist, and which is going to be the type of the artist. We are getting an error over here. Save these changes. Type artist is not undefined. Undefined is not assignable. We are not setting it to undefined. It's getting a type issue over here. On click. So let's make this on click. I'm going to send this callback function, and let me keep this as an empty, but over here we are getting a type error. Why? Why am I getting this issue? Artist, which is going to be the type of the artist data. I'm getting the artist over here. React.functional component. I'm not sure, so let me reload. Control Shift. Oops. Control Shift to be reload the window, and let me check it out. Finish. Still this, we are getting that error. Why? How come? How come we are getting that issue? songs.map, we're getting the item, and song item key data, it's going to be artist item, and artist, which is going to be, let me use the filter method then, filter, and that from that I'm going to get the, okay, so we need the complete object. So if I'm using the find, it's going to return it as the value, and that values are not matching the type of this artist type, right? So that's if you're using the filter method, and in the first index you're going to get the complete object which is going to match this artist data. So my bad. All right, so that cost me extra 5 minutes. Okay, so now the song data and everything is there. So let's go ahead and customize the song item over here. Now inside this item, so of course we need to get the we need to load the artist image, and as well as we need to load the songs image as well as. So what I'm going to do is, let's get back to the hooks. In just like the same way, copy and paste the use artist load. I'm just going to say use load song image. And then I'm just going to copy, and inside here I'm going to rename this to use load song image, and this is going to be the song. So song, change this to type of song. Okay, I don't need this artist, and if not song, return it as null. Data image data Supabase client from where? From songs, and change this to song dot, which one? Song dot song URI. So we need the song dot song URI. Okay, so we need to load the song image. So that should be image URI. Yes. So because we have two of the things over here, right? You can see we have the song and image. For song, you need to load the image URI, right? Then for audio file, you need to use the song URI. Right now we are trying to load the song image only, so I'm trying to fetch the storage from where? From the images only, not the song. From the images bucket, you need to get this images URI name from this images bucket and return that public URL. So save these changes. Let's get back to our page content, where it is song item over here, not this one, page content and song item. I think this is the one. Yes, song item. So I need to display the artist image and as well as the song image. So let's say const song image path is equals to use load song image, and I'm going to supply the data into it. Then const artist image path is equals to use load artist image, and I'm going to supply the artist into it. Right now we have both of the songs and informations which is necessary for us, and now all we have to do is to go ahead and create these stuffs like this. So first what I'm going to do is, for this division, I'm just going to say class name, which is going to be relative, and group, and flex column, item center, justify center, and rounded is going to be medium. And let me enable the word wrap over here so that you can see it clearly, rounded medium. Then overflow, it's going to be hidden, and gap x, it's going to be 4, and bg, it's going to be neutral 400, and divided by 5. Okay, then right after here, I'm just going to say cursor pointer, and on hover, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to say bg neutral 400/10, and which is going to be the easiest transition, and padding, of course, it's going to be 3. Save these changes. Now you should get some nice background color over here, and when you're hovering it, you should get some nice design just like this. Now inside this, instead of this song, I'm just going to create a division, and let's say class name, which is going to be relative, and then it's going to be aspect square, And width, of course, it should occupy width, complete width, and height, complete height. And rounded, of course, it's going to be medium, and overflow, it's going to be the hidden. And inside here, I'm going to bring that image from where next image. Then for this, I need to supply the class name. Of course, it's going to cover the complete object cover, and it should fill the entire stuff. And the source for that src, it's going to be image path. So which image path? Song image path. And if not, I'm going to load from /img/ which one? Public image song.jpg. I'm going to load song.jpg. That's the thing. Okay, and this is supposed to be R, right? And of course, we need to display the alternative. So the alternative is going to be data.title. That's the alternative. Save the changes. Now you should get that image over here. Look at that. So we are getting all the necessary images which is based on that song, right? How cool is that? Next, after that division, so right after that division, this is the place that division is being finished. So right after that division, I'm going to create one more div, and I'm going to say class name flex column item start, and width, if going to full, padding bottom, top and bottom is going to be 2. I'm going to display the paragraph, and this is the place where I'm going to display the title. And after that, we need to display the artist and artist name. So for this class name, and this class name, of course, we need to make sure this paragraph is occupying the complete width. So width full. Then I need to truncate the unwanted spaces, and I need to keep this font as semi-bold. Then I need to make this text size as a base size, text space, something like that. Okay, and the text neutral, it's going to be 400. Save these changes, or let's keep it as 300. And instead of base size, let's keep it SM. Okay, that's looking cool. And right after this paragraph tag, I'm going to create one more division, and which is going to be width. Of course, it's going to be full, and flex item center, and justify it on the starting location. All right, then, and here I need to bring that division, right, to display the artist image. So let's open the song model. I'm going to copy that image where it is. Model artist item, I think so. Model artist item, and this is the division I need. I'm going to copy it from here. I'm going to paste it, and this is going to be data.not data.author, artist.author, and this is going to be artist image path. So save these changes. Now I hope, yeah, now we can see that. Okay, and here let's increase the gap as 1. Okay, so now we have some gap over here, and right after this image, immediately this division. Okay, so I'm going to bring the paragraph tag, which is going to be exactly the same over here, but this time is going to be xs, and this is going to be artist.author. Save this changes, something like that. Okay, and I need some gap between these two objects, so gap it's going to be 1. And for this, I'm going to fix the minimum width as 6. It should not shrink less than that. Yep, that's, I think, looking good. And the size color, it's going to be 400. All right, perfectly fine. Okay, so and we need to bring that play button over here, right? So in order to do that, what we need to do is, so right after the go to the last division. Yep, over here I'm going to create a div, class name, and I'm going to make this as an absolute, and I'm going to make this as a bottom 20. I'm going to make this as a right 5, and I'm going to bring that I'm gonna bring the play button over here. So play button, and that is going to be the component play button. All right, so let's go ahead and create the play button for the time being now. So copy this, go to your components folder, create a new file.tsx. Okay, so now all we have to do is to write the styles for this play button, and let's make this as sfc play button, and here I'm gonna bring that button. So let's create this as a button, close this, enter, and this is going to be far play. Okay, for this class name, okay, I just need to add the transition. Of course, I think I added the transitions over there. Opacity, initially it's going to be 0. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some drop shadow, medium, and translate, and translate y is equals to 1 by 4. Translate y is equals, translate y 1 by 4, and group hover, I'm gonna make the translate y as 0, and on hover I'm just going to scale. So sad, sorry. And on hover I need to make the scale as 110. Let me bring the view over here. So let's elaborate the styles one more time over here. So we need to add the opacity, and let's make this a rounded, complete, full, rounded, full. And drop shadow, we needed it, drop shadow, and translate, we are adding the translate y is equals to 1 by 4 initially, and when you are hovering it, we are making it 0, and hovering it, we are making the scale level. And this color, its class name, it's going to be text black. Save it, and let's bring this over here. Let's check it out. And now if I'm nothing is happening, refresh it. Okay, there. Okay, something, it's fishy over here. Only if I move my cursor over that location, it's displaying. I think the issue is because of the group, because if for the button component also we have group, and for the song item also we have grouped over here. See, so it's taking the inner group of your button. So instead of keeping this as a button, what we can do is we can keep this as a button. So save this changes. Now if we are changing this, we need to add few more styles over here. So I'm just going to copy and replace the styles over here, just like this, because few of the styles are already repeated in our button component, so I just omitted it. So save these changes, and now you can see we are having that it's working perfectly, right? So previously what is the issue is because inside the button component we just added the group property over here. So because of that only, it is not, only if I move my cursor to this location, the button is being popped up. But right now you can see it's working perfectly how we expected it, right? So even when you are adding the if you are adding the songs constantly, you can able to list out all these songs over here. You can see all these songs. If I click one more time, if I add a new song, and that will be instantly reflected over here, right? So far we successfully finished displaying the songs details over here, and if I move it, you can see it's completely responsive, right? So I think we successfully finished the task for this today's sessions. And in the next day, what we are going to do is we are going to apply this search option along with the play options and favorites options. That's what we are going to complete in the next day session. And after that, we need to implement the Stripe membership. And after that, and finally, we need to push this to the cloud. All right. So I'll see you in the next session.